So I was just explaining that next week is spring break, so we don't have class next week, but we do have class the week after that. So the week of April 6th. So your class will be on April 8th is when you'll see me again. And I'm not assigning any homework during spring break, but I am assigning homework for this week, the rest of this week. So you will be doing 2 weeks of grammar, but no new writing assignments. So you don't have to write any paragraphs. You're only going to have grammar. Yay! So that'll be easy. 2 weeks of grammar. Hello, Malia. Good morning. I was just explaining we're going to do 2 weeks of grammar for homework this week, and that's it. Excuse me. And then next week is spring break. So, whoa, excuse me. So, we won't have class next week, but we will have class the week after that. My allergies are just going crazy today. So, anyway, so let's get started in grammar. Page 151 in grammar, page 151. Let me zoom out a little bit here. 151. And it's just you girls today. That's it. That's awesome. We're going to have our own little party. All right, 151, we're talking about the adverb clause. You guys already know about this. This is a review. So that's the www.asia.b clause. It starts with one of those words. So it says an adverb clause is a group of words that begins with the www word. Yes, Malia?
Can I go get my pencil?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And contains a subject and a verb. So the clause is going to have a subject and a verb in it too. An adverb clause must be added to a sentence that is already complete. So here it says, what is the adverb clause pattern? What is the adverb clause pattern? Well, what word does it have to start with, Lizzie, for an adverb clause? Do you remember? It has to, I'll help you. It has to start with a www.asia word. So right next to that, where it says pattern, put www.asia.b plus subject plus verb. That's the pattern, okay? Let me move that over so you can see that. It has to have a www.b plus a subject plus a verb. That's what that says. It's a little hard to read there, but that's the pattern. So it has to be when, while, where, as, since, if, although, because. It has to start with one of those. And it has to have its own subject and its own verb. And then it says, what are the www words? So who knows those by heart? Go ahead, Lizzie.
When,
Yep.
where,
It's yes.
and then while,
Good. Remember the Asia part?
and then
Good.
if,
As, since.
since,
Oops.
and then if,
If.
and then about,
Although.
although,
And then the be.
because,
Because. Good. You almost had all of them. That was really close. Good job. When, while, where, as, since, if, although, because. So those are all the www words right there. When, while, where, as, since, if, although, because. And the next question says, why is this an adverb clause? It says, because the cat hissed. Why is that an adverb clause? Does it follow that pattern up there? Does it have a www.asia.b word? Does it have a subject and does it have a verb? Because the cat hissed. It does, right? Because is a www word, and cat is the subject, and hissed is the verb. So it does follow that pattern. That's why that is an adverb clause. Look at the next question. Why is this not an adverb clause? Because of the cat's hiss. Can anybody tell me why that's not an adverb clause? Because of the cat's hiss. Okay, well, you do see because, but we have because of. Remember how I always say don't use because of for a clause? Because it changes it to a preposition. And then we have the cat's hiss. So cats with an apostrophe is an adjective. And then hiss is the noun. And there's no verb here. Hiss is not a verb because it's the cat's hiss. It's a thing. So since this does not have a verb, it is not an adverb clause. It's a prepositional phrase. Okay, that's the answer for that. All right, now skip down here. Got a glare. There we go. Two mice. It says, sorry, let me back up. Add adverb clauses to complete the paragraph. It says, the two mice decided to take a walk around the garden since. So now we need a subject and a verb here. So we're going to finish that adverb clause. We already have since, that's the S in Asia. So the two mice decided to take a walk around the garden since maybe we could say they were hungry. That works because were is a verb and hungry is a noun. Remember, or I'm sorry, they were is the subject and were is the verb. They were hungry. So that follows the pattern Asia plus subject plus verb. We have the Asia word since, the subject they, and the verb were. So the two mice decided to take a walk around the garden since they were hungry. How about the next one? Lizzie, see if you could do this one. Although blank, Johnny looked forward to the walk. So you need to have a subject and verb in here. So although, think of a subject and verb. What do you think?
He was scared.
They were scared. I like that. Although they were scared, Johnny looked forward to the walk. Or he was scared. You could say it that way too. But although they were scared, Johnny looked forward to the walk. The mice sang while, and then think of another subject verb to put here. What do you think, Malia? The mice sang while.
I think um
You could use the subject they while they, and then what's a verb? What could they be doing while they sang?
while they I cannot think like
A verb. You're thinking of a verb. So like they sang at the same time they were, what's a verb that they could, what are they doing at the same time? You could just make it up.
the mice sang while they made soup.
Okay. Made. I like that. Soup. Why not? They're making soup and singing and walking all together at the same time. Multitasking. When blank, the mice became scared. So what do you think, Lizzie? When, and I need another subject verb right here. When blank, the mice became scared.
When a bush moves.
Oh, yeah, I like that. When a bush moved, the mice became scared. They're like, what's that? What's in the bush? Okay, and then back to Malia. A horn honked and tires squealed because blank. So think of a subject verb because blank.
Because no, maybe they ran in the middle of the road.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. They ran in the middle. Whoops. L-E of the road. So you have they as your subject and ran is your verb. That works. A horn honked and tires squealed because they ran in the middle of the road with their soup while they're singing. That's a good one. Okay, thumbs up when you got that. Okay, good. Let's go on to page 153. And how about Lizzie read that one today?
Timmy exclaimed, "Five cats are horrendous. You're invited to stay through the spring and summer if you'd like."
Okay, good. Yeah, that word is horrendous. Horrendous means like really horrible. Horrendous. Really horrible. Shockingly dreadful. So, of course, they're mice, so it makes sense to them. So that's the vocabulary word. That word is an adjective, by the way, just so you know. It's describing the cats. They're horrendous. There's one article. Go ahead and find that. And then Malia, where are the nouns?
Timmy,
Good.
cat,
Good.
um, spring and summer.
Good. Yes, that's right. How about two pronouns, Lizzie?
Your,
Good, except for it's the wrong one. Did you notice that?
oh
It
yeah,
it's supposed to be like you are invited to stay, so we need to fix that. How do we spell it?
um, U
You,
O
oops. You mean Y-O?
Y-O and then U
Okay.
and then apostrophe
Yes.
and then R-E.
Excellent. So yes, the you part of that word is a pronoun. So we'll put PR on top of the you part. Okay. And then where's the other pronoun?
You'd.
You'd. And we need something there on that word too.
Apostrophe.
Yes. So apostrophe after the you, and right on top of the you is the pronoun. So PR. Okay. Good job. So we had to fix that. That's one apostrophe and one homophone. So we already got that. That was good. And the pronouns. How about the adjectives? What do you think, Malia?
Five.
Yes, but we need to spell it, right? It's a
Oh yeah.
word. Yeah, how do you spell five?
Five.
Good. And that is an adjective, so we'll write that on top of that? What's the other one?
Um, um,
It's describing the cats.
oh, horrendous.
Horrendous. There we go. That's what adjectives do. They just ah they describe the noun. Horrendous. Good. What about the CC, Lizzie?
And
Good. We'll jump down to subject verb next. Okay, so Malia well, there's four subjects and there's one, two, three, four, five, six verbs. It's a lot. So start with the verbs first. Where are the verbs at?
okay. Exclaimed
Yes, good.
and invited.
Yep, invited.
Day.
It's not going to be stay because of the word to. Remember how that always throws us off to stay. So that's an infinitive, so we're going to not mark that one.
Fine.
It's a little tricky.
I don't think it is, but is it through?
No, not through. No.
Um,
It's up.
uh,
Oh, go ahead.
uh, maybe like.
Yes, like is a verb. And
Okay.
then the other two are going to be helping verbs.
Um, okay.
Mateo's coming in right now, so yeah, they're helping verbs and they're kind of hidden. That's the clue. They're
Oh,
yeah.
mm,
They're they're gonna be with those pronouns. See where the contractions are? So like the RE in your is ARE. So that is a verb. And you'd, the D is for would, and that is also a verb. It's a helping verb right there. Hi, Mateo. We're on page 153, okay? And there's one more linking verb at toward the beginning. Do you see that one? It's linking a noun cats to the adjective horrendous.
it's linking a noun to horrendous.
Yeah, it's linking cats to horrendous. What's the word between those two words?
Are.
There you go. That is a verb too. That's a linking verb. Remember how we have linking and helping verbs?
Yeah.
That was hard. So there are all the verbs. And
Mm.
now, Malia, who's doing these things? So look before the verb, like this one, exclaimed. Who exclaimed?
Timmy.
Good. So Timmy's the subject.
And
And then,
then,
mhm.
oh,
He's saying all that,
mm,
but there's
mm,
two more subjects here. Look at your, like, are invited. Who are invited right here? It's before that.
wait,
It
what?
says, who's invited to stay through the spring and summer? Look right before invited.
Oh, your.
It's actually the you part. So on top of pronoun, I know this is tricky. You got the hard one, Malia. So you is a pronoun and the subject. And then jump down here to like, who like. Look before it.
Oh, you.
It's you again. The just the you part. Yeah. So the subject, that's tricky. So you're invited, those go together, and you'd like, those go together. Those are the pairs.
Okay.
Okay, so Lizzie, what about the adverb clause? Remember, this is a Asia clause.
If
Good. Starts with if. Where does it end?
you like.
If you'd like. That's the adverb clause. So we're going to put AC right there. All right. And then how about the prepositional phrase, Malia? Do you see where that's at? It's not going to be to stay, so don't say that one.
Oh. Mm,
I see your hand. Hang on, Mateo.
I'm gonna have to look back.
Look at what
Uh,
other there's another word that's not labeled. So don't use to stay, but there's one more word that does not have a label yet. You see it? It's through.
oh, wait.
You see how through doesn't have anything on top of it yet?
Ah, okay.
So what would be the whole phrase? Through what?
Through the spring and summer.
Yes, good. Is that what you were going to say, Mateo?
Yes, I could
Okay.
dog can go through a log.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right then. How about Mateo? What kind of an opener do we have here?
Subject
Good. What number is that?
1.
Good. One subject. Nice job. Capitals, you guys could do that. Timmy. And then don't forget five. The word five needs a capital, even though I made mine already. And then your is capital. And then the end mark is a period here. And we already fixed the number, so I think we got it now. Were you able to catch up on that, Mateo?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good job, you guys. So instead of putting your grammar book away, I was explaining before you came on, Mateo, that we're going to do two lessons today in grammar. And that's your homework this week is two grammar lessons. You're not going to have any new writing, like no more paragraphs right now, but you will do two grammar lessons so we can finish up the book faster. So go ahead and go to page 157, and we're going to do the next lesson. This is also review. This one's going to be pretty easy. So 157, we're talking about contractions. We know about those. Those are pretty easy. That's when you take two words and you put them together into one word and you use an apostrophe, just like we were practicing. So it says what I just said. A contraction combines two words into one. It uses an apostrophe to show where a letter or letters have been removed. Form contractions with the following words. So, Mateo, what contraction does it is make?
Um, isn't
It's going to
or
be it's like this, actually.
yeah, I got confused because it shows right here like the words, so I thought I at first I was gonna say that and then I was like, do I have to use these words? I thought I had to
Yeah.
use the words that were I was having to use.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to look on the left, see how it has it is, and then we're going to turn it into a contraction. That's how you do that.
Okay.
So it is becomes it's. How about Lizzie? They are. What contraction does that make?
there
Good there. Apostrophe RE. And then was not, Malia, what contraction does that make?
wasn't.
Good. Wasn't. And it's going to go where the O was for not there. So it's there and wasn't. And then this part's pretty easy. You're going to draw a line. You're going to match the words on the left to the contraction that it makes. So the first one, he would, that would be he'd. So you're basically just going to draw a line from the two words to the contraction. So go ahead and do that by yourself. I think you guys can do that.
Done.
Okay, good. After you're done, check your pattern and then make sure it looks like mine. Okay, cool. You guys got it? Mateo and Malia? Okay, good. Check the pattern like mine. Make sure it looks like mine. Okay, awesome. Good job, you guys. That was easy peasy cheesy. So that was the lesson for this week. So notice how at the top on the right it says week 27. So for homework, you're going to do week 26 and week 27. Okay, and that's it for your homework. Just 2 weeks of grammar. And then next week is spring break. So we're not having class next week. And then after, I know, yay! And then after spring break, we're going to get back into the binder and go pick up where we left off in the binder. So, but today we're going to practice just a little bit more about the state test. And I think that Lizzie, has anybody finished the state test yet? Not yet. Okay. That's okay because you have until May to do it. So you'll schedule that with your mom and your HST teacher, and you'll do that sometime between now and May. So Malia, did you have a question?
I think my mom scheduled to have it me do it next week.
Okay. Okay, good. So we're going to practice a little bit more today, and then you guys are going to be totally ready for the writing part of the test. Whenever you take it. If it's next week or in April, that's fine whenever you take it. So we just want to make sure you get all the practice in on that. Okay, so I'm gonna put a link in the chat and then we're gonna go to that website again and we're gonna pick a different grade. So don't click ahead of me. Stay with me. I'll walk you through what to click as you go. Okay, so first I'm going to put it in the chat right now and just click the link and then wait for me. Okay, so go ahead and click that link and then wait for me. Give me a thumbs up if you were able to click it and it opened. Okay, good. Good. Can you guys still see me too? Good. Yay. And Lizzie, did you click on it and it opened? Awesome. Woohoo, you guys are great. The class I had right before you, they were like having a hard time, so you guys are good. All right, now I'm going to share my screen and we're going to walk through logging in. You might remember from last week, but still just go slow with me. Go ahead and click continue as guest. Click guest session. If you have any questions, just let me know. For the grade, for today, everybody's going to pick grade 6. Even if you're not in grade 6, everybody's going to pick grade 6. It's okay if you're not in grade 6 because it's good practice anyway for everybody. Okay, so pick 6. And then you're going to see those pink and green boxes there. The very first pink box that says Smarter Balanced Practice Test, click that. Okay, and then it's the second light pink box down that says Start Grade 6 ELA Performance Task. Click that one. You guys good? You with me so far? Awesome. Good. At the bottom, there's a blue button. Click Select. Now you can check your sound on that little video. So play that video. And it goes, do-do-do-do-do-do. Got it? Okay, good. Click I could play the sound and video. Click that blue button. And at the very bottom of this screen, it says begin test now. Go ahead and click begin test now. Okay. All right. Does everybody see the test where it says student directions, hiking in the Grand Canyon, narrative performance task? You should see that on the left side. Good. You see that too, Lizzie? Uh-oh, she's lagging. Are you there, Lizzie? Do you see the test now? No, it should say on the left side of your screen, it should say student directions, hiking in the Grand Canyon. Do you see that? Are you looking for the Zoom? You look a little lost.
It's loading.
Oh, it's loading. Okay, yeah, I noticed you're kind of glitching a little bit, so you can turn off your camera. That might help your internet move faster. See if that helps you. Give me or let me know, unmute and just let me know when you find the test page that says student directions, hiking in the Grand Canyon narrative performance.
Found it.
Yay. Okay, good job, you guys. Awesome. And you could just leave your camera off if that helps. Um, so we're practicing a different grade today, just so you get a feel for what we're gonna do, what you're gonna do when you log into the actual test. But before we do anything else, think back on what we talked about last week. And remember when I said on the day of the test, when your HST says you may now begin the test, what is the first thing you should do before you even start reading what's on the test? Malia.
Get out two pieces of paper and write down your dress ups.
Yes, good. Your checklist. Make your own checklist. Perfect. That's step one. What's the second thing you're supposed to do? You got your checklist, and then there's one more thing on your line paper that you do before you start. Malia?
Keyword outline.
Yes, woohoo, that's it. So you get to this part of the test, and your teacher says you may now begin the test. First thing you do on your scratch paper, which is lined paper, it's blank, is make your own checklist. And the second thing you do is set up your keyword outline. And for you guys, you're going to do 3 paragraphs. So you're going to set up Roman numeral 1, 1 through 5, and topic clincher. Roman numeral 2, 1 through 5, topic clincher. And Roman numeral 3, 1 through 5, topic clincher. And then after you set all that up, then you can start reading the instructions. Okay, so remember to do that. And by the way, when you're making your own checklist, if you forget something, a dress up word, it's okay. Don't worry about that. Just put down what you can remember. Okay, so don't let that part stress you out. Just put down ly adverb or whatever you can remember from your checklist. All right. And you guys are going to be so familiar with this. It's going to be easy, honestly. You guys are going to do fine on this because you already know what it looks like. You have a plan. You already got, you're going to use your scratch paper. Okay, so the next step would be then to look over on the left under student directions, hiking in the Grand Canyon narrative performance task. And then look where it says task. And how about Mateo? Can you read the 2 paragraphs under task?
Uh, okay. So it starts with your school, right?
Yep, that's it. Good job. Yep, right there.
Your school is writing, your school writing club is holding a short story contest about the great outdoors. You have often thought about hiking and you wonder what it would be like to hike in the Grand Canyon National Park. You decide to do more research about hiking in the Grand Canyon National Park. As part of your initial research, you find 4 sources about the Grand Canyon and hiking. After you have reviewed these sources, you will answer some questions about them. Briefly skim the source and the question that follows. Then go back and read the source carefully so you'll have the information you will need to answer the question and finalize your research. You may click on the global notes button to take notes on the information you find in the source as you read. You may also use scratch paper to take notes.
Okay, good job. Excellent. So don't worry about that global notes button. You will have scratch paper in front of you and you will already have notes written down. You'll have your checklist and your KWO, so you're ready to go. You don't need to use the global notes button. But now on the left, I do want you to scroll through that and just look for source number one. And Lizzie, if you can tell me what is the title of source number one, go ahead and just read the title.
The 3 R's of holding time.
Okay, and then there's a little bit more under that.
Grand Canyon style.
Yes, good. So that is in bold. That's the title. That's source one. Scroll down. I know it's a lot of reading, but remember, you are not timed on this test. So you can take your time reading everything. We're not going to read it all today because we don't have enough time in class. But just know you have all the time you need on the test, okay? So scroll down until you see source number two, and then Malia, read the title of source number two. I
Follow in M-
think
M-
it's Muir's. Muir's.
Moore's footsteps. Take a national walk. A nature walk.
There you go.
What?
Take a nature walk. You got it. There you go. Good. So if I scroll down that, you're going to see that one has a list of 1 to 10. It says just follow these steps. You'll see the list right there. And then if you keep scrolling down, look for source number three. And then Mateo, what is the title of source number three?
I'm still looking for it.
Okay, so it's on the left. If you scroll,
It says take a hike.
nice, good. That's exactly right. And that's the third source. And if you scroll down, you'll see a list of do's and don'ts on the trail. It says on the trail do's and don'ts, and there's bullet points there. And then keep scrolling because this one has 4 sources. So, Malia, what's the name of source number 4?
How to be a green traveler.
Good. And then scroll down to the bottom of that. Okay, so that one's a little shorter. Um, so that is all of the sources that you're going to read. I know it's a lot, but remember, take your time reading those when you're doing the actual test. Because you, even if your Zoom call for your test ends, you can save what you've done and come back to it on another day. So don't feel like you got to rush. You just plan on sitting for at least 2 hours to do these tests. So you can take breaks, you can go to the bathroom, you can get a snack, you can walk around for a minute and come back. But just get it in your head, it's going to take you time. Okay, that's okay. Um, this says look at let's scroll back to the very top of those sources. Just scroll so you get used to scrolling up and down on the left. And then look at the right side of your screen. You see the blue box with a number one, and then there's instructions. So Lizzie, can you read the instructions under number one?
Most of the sources provide information about hiking in national parks. Which source would be most relevant to a student researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in a national park? Justify and support your answer with 2 pieces of evidence from the most relevant source.
Good. Okay, that's what your job is in that rectangular box right there. So, like we did last week, look at the beginning of that under number one. It says most of the sources provide information about hiking in national parks. The next sentence tells what they want you to do. It says, which source would be most relevant to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in a national park. Now, because of time in our class, I'm just going to tell you which source I think that is, and it could be whatever you pick. But for today, I want you to scroll down to source number two. The one that says, follow in Muir's footsteps, take a nature walk. The one that shows 1 through 10. So find that spot in source number two where you see just follow these steps 1 through 10. Thumbs up when you find it. Okay, good. Source number two, 1 through 10. Okay, good. Now, you're going to use that source. So go back over to number one and it says which source. So we're going to pick source number two. So click inside that rectangle box and you're going to start typing. Type source number two, and then you're going to finish saying what they want you to do in that sentence under number one. So you're going to say source number two would or I instead of would is, sorry. Source number two is the most relevant to students. You're copying the rest of that sentence from under number one. Researching. It's okay if you type slow. Take your time typing. If you only type with your pointer fingers, that's all right. It's just going to take you a while, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. You have to just peck away at it. So your sentence should say, source number two is the most relevant, and I spelled relevant wrong, so I got to fix that, to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in a national park. So I took the thing they want you to do, the instructions, and I put it into my own sentence with the source as the first sentence. It's really important that you do that. And that's so easy. It's like you're using their own words. That's what's cool about it. You get points for that. So you're basically picking which source and finishing that sentence with the same words that they use in the question. So once you get that sentence down, give me a thumbs up. Okay, good, Lizzie. Go ahead and read your sentence to me that you typed.
Source number two is the most relevant to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in a national park.
Okay, good. And I like that you're reading it out loud. And on the day of the test, after you type something, when you're finished typing it, it's really important to read it back. Because, like for me, I didn't catch that I missed a letter in one of the words until I read it back to myself. And then I was like, oh, wait, I got to fix that. So make sure you read it back to yourself before moving on to the next part. Okay, so Malia, did you finish typing it yet?
Yeah.
Good. Go ahead and read your sentence.
Sorry, my
That's
thing is
okay.
gonna take. Okay. Source number 2 is the most relevant to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in a national park.
Good. Good job. Okay, you guys, so that's good. And you're still typing Mateo. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It might take you a
I'm
while
done.
to type. Okay, good. It might take any of you time to type it, and that's okay. Just keep at it. So, Mateo, go ahead and read your sentence that you typed.
Okay, source number 2 is the most relevant to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in the national park.
Perfect. You guys all did excellent. So that's super easy peasy cheesy, right? So that's the first thing you're going to do after you do your checklist in your KWO and you look to see what you have, scroll through, find all the sources, and then number one, you're basically going to take whatever they're asking you to do and put it into a sentence. So there's your first sentence. And then it says justify and support your answer with two pieces of evidence from the most relevant source. So since we picked source two, you're going to pick two pieces of evidence that support why that's the most um, relevant to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking. So now look over on the left. You see that 1 through 10, and you're thinking about how do we enjoy a hike? What is something from that list? And you can raise your hand. What is something from that list 1 through 10 that would help you enjoy going on a hike? What would make it more fun to you? Mateo, what do you think?
Probably 8 and 9.
Okay, 8 says collect plants. Yep, that would be fun. Try pressing flowers and leaves into the pages of your journal, just
I
like
mean,
your.
I don't, because like some national parks are like you leave things and you don't touch things. So
Yes,
I pictures too.
yes. So I think you're right. After you thought about that, I think there's a better one. Number 9 for sure. You can take pictures. That's a good one. And then pick another one that would probably, you're right about that. National parks, they don't want you to touch any plants or anything, really. So keep thinking on the second one. And then Lizzie, how about you? What two pieces of evidence? Which two of those would make it more fun for you?
Uh, 4 and then probably number 5.
Be alert, lets the sights, sounds, smells, and textures of nature fill your senses. Yep. And then number 5, look high and low. Notice the big picture like landscapes and trees, but also the little details like flower petals and insect wings. Yes, that's cool. For me, I think number 3 sounds fun to bring a snack. Of course, I like to eat.
That's what I was thinking. It would be cool to like inside like the nature.
Yeah, it's so fun to find a tree to sit under or a rock to sit on, especially with your family, maybe a little picnic. You could bring some we like to bring like trail mix, which has like nuts and raisins and like M&Ms mixed in it. It's making me hungry right now. But something like that to sit down and have a snack and maybe a water. Um, So the thing here is that you get to pick which two things you think would make it more enjoyable. So let's start the next sentence by saying, for example, in source number 2, it, I'm going to say suggests to, and then you can finish that sentence with whatever of the ones from 1 to 10. Pick one first and then finish that sentence. What is it suggesting to do? Right? Right. like bring a notebook. That's another good one where you can draw pictures and write down what you see. So you finish that sentence for you and give me a thumbs up when you're done. So you're going to say, for example, in source number 2, it suggests to blank.
Can I say, for example, in source number 2, it suggests to take pictures?
Yes, to take pictures, and then you can add more detail. What does it say after that? Let's see. Um, and then you could add another sentence like, um, you can take pictures and tape them in your journal. Something like that. You can add a little bit more detail about what to do with those pictures. And yes, Lizzie?
Then
Okay, what did you put for yours?
I put number 4 and 9.
Okay, so read your sentence that you typed.
Okay. Um, for example, in source number 2, it suggests to be alert. Let sights, sounds, smells, and textures fill your senses. Then take pictures if you can't collect plants where you are. Take pictures and tape them in a journal.
Okay, good. It might be a little bit more clear if you put those into two sentences. So you finished, for example, in source 2, it suggests to, and you finish that sentence and then say another example in source 2 is, and then you can split those up. So you have the senses one and then the pictures one. Does that make sense, Lizzie?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So split those up into two sentences. So if you go ahead, Malia, what did you put for yours?
I was gonna ask, can I like put in for example, in source number 2, it suggests to write stuff down and add drawings.
Yes, that's good. Yep, that's good. And then you can say another example in source number 2 is, and then finish that sentence too. Okay, so Lizzie, did you have another question? Or is that
Oh
from
no,
earlier?
that was from earlier.
Okay. And you can add like how Mateo was talking about, we were talking about adding an extra sentence in there. So if you want to explain it a little bit more in another sentence, that's okay. So you should have at least 3 sentences, but you can have 4 or 5 also all together. So let me know when you get it, the second example, and you have it finished. Let me know. Okay, good, Lizzie. So go ahead and how about Lizzie, read your all the sentences you put in that box.
Okay. Source number 2 is the most relevant to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in a national park. For example, in source number 2, it suggests to be alert. let sights, sounds, smells, and textures for your senses. Another example is taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't collect plants where you are, um, take pictures and tape them in a journal.
Okay, good. Yes, excellent. That's a great answer. Very good, Lizzie. And I know you copied most of the words from the left. That's okay for this part of the test. You don't want to copy every single word, but it's okay to just basically they're wanting you to refer back to that source. So that's clear. I like that. You'll get a good score on that. Okay, Malia and then Mateo.
Um, what do you want us to write for our third sentence?
For your third sentence, it'll start with another example in source number two is, and then you finish that sentence. So you're going to look for a second thing. Does that
Okay.
make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mateo, you're finished with yours? Okay, so go ahead, Mateo, read the whole thing you put in that box.
Okay. Source number two is the most relevant to students researching how to get the most enjoyment out of hiking in a national park. For example, in source number two, it suggests to take pictures and tape them in your journal, or pack a snack, just don't litter.
Okay, good. I think it would be good to add to move that into another sentence so you have three sentences total. Does that make sense? So instead of just putting or pack a snack, you would put a period and then say another example in source number two is pack a snack and then make sure you don't litter. Does that make sense, Mateo?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's super, super clear. That's what they're looking for. But all three of you will do great. That all three of you will get a great score on this part of the test. So good job. And then I know you're not quite done. A couple of you typing, that's okay. But if you click on two, I just want to show you this one again. And it's time to go. So I'm going to do this quick. But this one says, click on the boxes to show the idea that each source supports. Some sources may have more than one box selected. So you see, the first idea says it is a good idea to bring food when you hike. Well, hey, we just read about that in that 1 through 10. That was one of the things they suggested. And that was source two. So we know already that we can click under source number two because it talked about bringing a snack. Okay. So this is where you want to make sure you read all of the sources on the left. And that's how you would fill in this part. Not all the boxes are going to have check marks, only the ones where you find those ideas. And the last thing I want to say is as you're reading them again, you might have to read these sources more than once. You will have to. So when you get to the big essay, you can use the highlighting feature. Remember how you click and drag like you're going to highlight something on your doc, on your Google Doc? If you click and drag and make it blue and go to that little circle, you can pick a color and that can help you put down your facts on your keyword outline. So for your keyword outline, one more thing, we did three last time, but this test has four sources, so I would recommend four Roman numerals. You would do four paragraphs. So however many sources they give you, that's how many paragraphs you should write. Okay? So if it's three sources, you'll do three paragraphs. If it's four sources, you'll do four paragraphs. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, awesome. Well, we're out of time. Everybody did awesome. I'm so proud of you. Whenever you take the test, you're going to do great. It's going to be easy peasy. It'll take a long time, but it's going to be pretty easy for you because you know what to do. All right. So I won't see you next week. I'll see you after that, after Easter. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. Good job, you guys. Bye. Happy Easter.
Bye.